The last transmission. In the vast, unforgiving void of space, the Starship Artemis voyaged towards the outer reaches of our solar system. Its crew of 5, a blend of scientists and engineers, was on a mission to study the Kuiper Belt. The mission had proceeded without incident until the communications system crackled to life with a transmission that was as unexpected as it was mysterious. "Is anyone else hearing this?" Captain Elena Vasquez asked, her voice breaking the silence of the control room. The static-filled message was garbled, almost incoherent, but beneath it, there seemed to be a voice, a plea. Dr. Liam Kim, the ship's astrophysicist, adjusted the dials in an attempt to clear up the signal. "It's unlike anything I've seen before. It doesn't match any known frequencies or patterns used by Earth stations." The crew listened intently as the transmission repeated. Amidst the static, a sequence of numbers emerged, followed by a faint, desperate voice. "Help us. Coordinates follow. Please. Could this be a prank? A transmission from Earth meant to test our response protocols?" questioned Sofia Rodriguez, the engineer. "No, the origin is all wrong. It's coming from deeper in space, beyond our current trajectory," Liam confirmed, his brow furrowed in concentration. Elena stood firm in the dimly lit control room, the weight of command pressing heavily upon her shoulders. Her eyes, reflecting a resolve born of countless challenges faced in the unfathomable expanse of space, scanned the faces of her crew. She sensed their apprehension, their uncertainty, mirroring the tumultuous storm of thoughts raging in her own mind. Yet, amidst the sea of doubt, her course was clear, her conviction unshakable. "We have a moral obligation to investigate," she declared, her voice resonating with a depth of purpose and duty. The words hung in the air, a testament to the ethos that had guided her through the trials of her career, a belief in the sanctity of life and the unyielding pursuit of knowledge, no matter the darkness that lay ahead. "Plot a course to these coordinates," she instructed, her tone imbued with the authority of command yet softened by the shared humanity that bound them as explorers of the unknown. Her gaze lingered on the navigation panel, the blinking lights and digital maps charting a path not just through the stars, but into the very heart of the unknown. The crew, galvanized by her leadership, sprang into action. The hum of machinery and the soft clicks of buttons being pressed filled the room as the Starship Artemis began its deviation from the planned trajectory. It was a moment of silent agreement, an unspoken acknowledgement of the journey they were about to undertake together. Elena watched as the stars shifted outside the viewport, a new course set towards the mysterious transmission. A part of her marveled at the beauty of it all, the infinite cosmos, with its myriad secrets, now offering them an invitation. Or perhaps, a challenge. In the quiet that followed, Elena pondered the road ahead. What would they find at the source of the transmission? Who, or what, was calling out across the void, and why? These questions lingered, unanswered, fueling a mix of fear and fascination. Yet, despite the uncertainties, Elena's decision stood as a beacon of their mission's true purpose, to seek out the unknown, to extend a hand into the darkness, and to hold fast to the light of exploration and compassion. For in the vast, uncharted stretches of space, it was not just the stars they sought to understand, but the very nature of humanity itself. As Artemis diverted from its planned path, an uneasy silence settled over its crew. The stars outside seemed colder, more distant, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Days passed as they approached the source of the transmission. The closer they got, the more the message clarified, yet it revealed little about who was calling for help or why. As the Starship Artemis drew closer, the void of space began to reveal its secret. There, amidst the backdrop of distant stars and the eternal night, floated a vision of desolation, a derelict spaceship. It hung in the vast emptiness, adrift and seemingly forsaken by both time and space. The sight of it, a solitary sentinel in the dark, sent a shiver down the spine of the crew. Its hull, scarred by unknown trials and devoid of any identification, held no allegiance to any nation or entity known to Earth. The design of the vessel was strikingly alien, with contours and structures that defied the familiar aesthetics of human engineering. It was as if the ship itself was a relic from a distant corner of the universe, whispering secrets of untold stories and cosmic journeys beyond human comprehension. The Artemis approached with caution, its crew silenced by the sight of the mysterious craft. The realization that they were about to set foot on a ship that hailed from beyond their wildest imaginings was both exhilarating and terrifying. The absence of any visible markings made the ship an enigma, a puzzle that lacked both context and clarity. Its architecture suggested technologies and civilizations that humanity had yet to encounter or understand. There, in the silence of space, the derelict awaited, a testament to the vast and unexplored cosmos that stretched out before them. It stood as a challenge to their understanding of the universe, a reminder of how much remained unknown and unseen. Prepare for boarding. We need to find out what happened here, Elena ordered, her voice steady but her heart racing with anticipation. The boarding party, suited up for the unknown, made their way through the airlock. Inside, they found a ship in disarray, its corridors silent save for the sound of their own breathing. The deeper they ventured, the more unsettling their discoveries. Signs of struggle were evident, but there were no bodies, no survivors. Only shadows lingered in the empty hulls. In the ship's control room, they found the source of the transmission, a distress beacon, automatically repeating its plea for help. But the crew's logbooks told a harrowing tale of discovery and dread. They had encountered an anomaly in space, a rift, and from it, something had emerged. Something came back with them, whispered Sophia, her eyes wide with fear as she read the last entries. They weren't alone. The realization hit them all at once. They were not rescuers, they had walked into a trap. As if on cue, the derelict ship shuddered, lights flickering as power surged through its veins once more. The air filled with an otherworldly hum, and shadows began to move, coalescing into forms both strange and terrifying. Panic ensued as the crew raced back to the airlock, pursued by beings that defied explanation. Each step back to the Artemis was a battle against dread, against foes that seemed to slip through the very walls. With a desperate leap fueled by adrenaline and fear, the crew of the Artemis managed to seal the airlock behind them. They stood there for a moment, panting, their breaths echoing loudly in the sudden silence of their own ship. The feeling of safety was only momentary, however, as the realization of their harrowing escape settled in. They were shaken, their nerves frayed from the encounter, but they were alive. Captain Elena Vasquez, her resolve as steadfast as ever, wasted no time. She barked the order to detach from the derelict spacecraft and initiate an immediate retreat. As the Artemis began to pull away, the crew's eyes were drawn to the viewport, where the derelict ship seemed to animate with malevolence. Tendrils of darkness, more substantial than shadow yet less than solid, reached out towards them, as if the derelict itself was loath to let its visitors leave. These tendrils of darkness, however, were not the only horrors that the derelict harbored. From within the bowels of the forsaken ship, creatures made of shadows and nightmares began to emerge, coalescing into forms that were both terrifying and mesmerizing. These beings, composed of the same dark substance as the tendrils, seemed to defy the laws of physics and biology. They moved with an eerie fluidity, slipping through the smallest cracks and openings, their forms constantly shifting and twisting in impossible ways. As the Artemis gained distance, these shadow creatures launched themselves into the void, propelled by some unfathomable force, in pursuit of the fleeing ship. Their forms stretched and elongated, reaching out towards the Artemis with a hunger born of the dark vacuum of space. Inside the Artemis, the crew watched in horror as the shadow beings chased them, their faces a mix of fear and fascination. The creatures seemed to be made of the void itself, a darkness that absorbed all light, a visual echo of the despair and isolation that space could embody. The chase was a stark reminder of the unknown dangers that lurked in the unexplored corners of the cosmos, a testament to the crew's vulnerability in the face of such otherworldly threats. Elena, ever the leader, called for calm and action. She instructed her crew to increase their speed and maneuver through the asteroid field ahead, hoping to lose their pursuers in its complex terrain. The Artemis darted through space, its engines roaring to life with renewed purpose, as the crew braced themselves for the evasive maneuvers that lay ahead. The chase was far from over, but the will to survive and the determination to escape the clutches of the shadow creatures drove them forward into the uncertain darkness. As Artemis sped away, the crew was left to confront the reality of their encounter. They had glimpsed something beyond the known universe, a horror that defied understanding. The transmission, they realized, was not a call for help but a warning, one they had failed to understand until it was nearly too late. Silently, the ship continued its journey back to Earth, its crew forever changed. They had sought to explore the unknown, but in doing so, had found more than they were prepared for. In the aftermath, the transmission ceased, leaving only questions. Who had sent it? And were they now bringing back with them something that should have remained hidden in the depths of space? As Earth loomed in the distance, a sense of foreboding settled over the crew. Their mission had begun with a quest for knowledge, but it ended with the chilling realization that some mysteries were never meant to be uncovered. The last transmission, once a beacon of mystery and hope, now served as a solemn reminder of the terror that lay waiting in the silence of space, a terror that they had narrowly escaped, or so they hoped. Dare to venture into the unknown. Join us on a journey where shadows whisper and secrets lurk. Subscribe now and ring the bell to summon fresh mysteries directly to your screen every few days. Ignore this call, and be warned. An eternal curse awaits those who wander in the dark, unguided. Do you have the courage to face the unknown? Your adventure begins with a click. Welcome to the realm where every notification brings you closer to the abyss. Subscribe, if you dare.